Zion. Okay, we're ready to continue. We're on the methods of acquiring beetle in the Biyam Darkecha. We're on page Samach Zion, right at the top of the page. Oh, it's not mirroring yet. Thank you. Now everything's going to go off completely. Watch when I finish. Yeah, but see what it does.
We can see, Rabbi.
I know, but we'd like to make it a little bit bigger. Now you can really see it. Okay, so we are in the middle of the second part of chapter 2, the reflection before we, according to the order of the 4 levels of beetle. We're in the middle of that. And we've been doing a bunch of footnotes. We're back on the top part, continuing with the reflection after the 4 types of reflection. You need to reflect a lot on this. And to feel this. It's good to set up a specific time for this reflection. On top of whenever you can find the opportunity for this. So you have to have a set time every day to reflect on this. It doesn't have to be long. And whenever you got some free time. But let's go back to the line before. You have to reflect a lot of this and feel this. So now in Samach Tzadi Gimel, he discusses an issue that many of us may have. It could be at times when a person attempts to enter these feelings of beetle, and he's not successful. And the more he tries, as much as he tries, he's not successful. And there's other people, their nature is they are less aroused, their feelings don't get stimulated. And many times they don't succeed to be able to bring in clear feelings. So we're going to give you 3 ideas of how to be able to contemplate more successfully. Either those who just today's not a good day for it, or by nature it's hard for you. Derech achas, first point, lenasos lahargish lepochos mashu. At least try to feel something. Not, it doesn't be the best feeling, but to feel something. Dainu lahargish lepochos ktsas bahargosha klolis. To try to feel at least a little bit of the overall feeling. Or we call be'avira koleles, with the general atmosphere of what the beetle is. Derech shni, another method. Likonis la'gosher b'derech shel hishtoikakus utfila. Try to enter the feeling of yearning prayer. This we think about. Hashem, I want to feel this a lot. On Hashem Yisbarach Tazorli. Hashem, help me feel this. And have me merit to be able to feel it. So make it feel it. Starting with the first, I want to feel the Ol Malchus Shemaim. I want to feel the yoke of heaven. I want to feel that it's real. I want to feel that when Hashem tells me to do something, it's more real than the government of Ontario telling me to do something. Okay? To feel at least, halavai. We should feel about Hashem as much as we feel about the government of Ontario to follow his laws, to daven for that. Darkecha shlishi is the third method, to enter into thought, meaning to think strongly, this is what I feel. And to establish himself that he's feeling. What I think he means? Fake it till you make it. He's saying, just think, this is what I feel. Just keep saying, even though you don't feel it. Just keep, I feel like this, I feel like this, I feel like this. Slowly will influence. And he says, and the second gate in the mimer of Eich Lahargish Hashem Yisbarach, how to feel Hashem, he's going to talk more about this. So we'll come back to this discussion. This is not the primary place for this. So these are three methods. Try to be satisfied with a little bit of feeling, make it as a tefillah, or fake it till you make it. And if you keep on making that effort, and don't give up, and you should really consider important any little bit you merit. Year and it flows, you'll see great things. Even if you don't feel it right away, at the end of the day, you will certainly merit it. Hashem's mercy. This is certainly true for Averos, so it has to be for sure for mitzvahs. A lot of times the Yitzhak just wants us to do a little bit, just get a little bit involved, even though you're not really that interested, and slowly he gets you to Averos. So certainly for mitzvahs, it should work as well. Okay, now the next part's very fascinating. He says you should have a set time for this, aside from whenever you can do it. And now, I believe Steve mentioned this, asked this idea last week. So now we're going to see where it comes in. Besides the designated time that the person established for himself, should find other times whenever you have a chance. Who could go on, for example, when you're making a bracha, b'tevis melech ha'olam. When you say the word melech, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech ha'olam. Think about that first level. I want to be makabel ol malchus shamayim. Which king am I talking about? What do you mean king? What do I mean when I say king of the world? King who runs the world, and I got to listen to everything he says, and I want to listen to everything he says. At least when you're saying the words Melech Ha'olam, that should be something that you appreciate, or any of these levels. So that's one time. Whenever you make a bracha, if you're making the bracha with kavanah, remember you're already thinking about, if you've already been successful in the attribute of achila, right? We're talking about eating. Try to make one good bracha a day. You got that apple in front of you. You got that coffee in front of you. You're saying, I'm getting ready to feel the light. I'm ready to be the kli, to make it happen, to feel that I'm hungry and I'm waiting for God's food to come into me, and for me to recognize that I can only live without him. That's part of my bittul. So, and now you're ready into that mode. So add on just one little more. When you make the bracha, Melech Ha'olam, yes, he is mamish, the king of the world, and I'm makabel ol malchus shamayim. So it's just adding another point. It just makes the bracha take a few more seconds. That's one place. And now another one. Also in the four primary parts of the Shachris prayer. As is well known to those who learn Hasidus, maybe for some of you know, that we ascend four worlds during Shachris. Starting with Amiras HaKarbanos. When you say Karbanos, okay, Heim Keneged Olam Asiyah, it parallels the lower level. The lowest level is the world of action. That's our world. Because Karbanos is the actual world. You take an animal, you're shechted. So when you're already involved in reading those words of the avoda, and our reading is supposed to replace the actual avoda. So while you're doing that, while you're saying the Karbanos, so accept, you should try to feel the overall accepting the yoke of Hashem. And what do we know about, it says in brackets, shchitas hakarbanos, and the offerings and slaughtering of animals, romes al shchitas haratzonos, is hinting to slaughtering our desires that are not appropriate. That's what korbanos are all about. So as you're slaughtering your desires, you're talking about the korban tamid, you're talking about the ketores, whatever. So you just think a little bit that this is a korban that's sacrificing. The animal gave his life to Hashem. I should be giving my life for Hashem. That's how much I should want to follow and recognize that God is the king. So that's a little machshava while you're saying it. You're already saying the words anyway. Right? Okay, now, so in our show, we just say that the tamid and a little bit of the ketores. I mean, you could say as much as you want, you come early, but at least that, have a little thought of that. You're in the world of Asiyah, you're in the lower realm. So think about, accepting the yoke of Hashem and feeling that. Now we move up to Psukei Zimra, the Psalms of Praise. Shukeneged Elam Yitzira, that parallels the world of Yitzira, the next level up, and that's the world of feelings. That, remember, this all parallels your different levels of soul. The world of Asiya parallels the level of soul, which is the Nefesh, the lowest level of soul. Now you're going to the next level of soul, which is Ruach, the spirit. What's Ruach? From the heart, says Mir, the kind of kanis ler goshal avav yird vekus. Psikosim is meant to give us feelings of love, fear, and cleaving. Shizmiros David HaMelech, the songs of King David, Moreres Asalev Lakach, arouse the heart for this. All right, I know it's a long Psukei Zimra. Try to get just a couple lines from the Psukei Zimra in which you can feel that you're saying a praise for Hashem.
Rabbi, we just move through that. It's like,
okay, I know we just mowed through that, so that's why I prefaced and said one line. By the Ashrei, Poseach es yodecha umasbia l'chol chai ratzon. That line you have to say with kavanah. You're not Yotzei Ashrei. Poseach es yodecha, you open up your hands, umasbia, and you satiate every living being according to their needs. Okay, that's a praise of Hashem. And guess what? You're one of them that's getting satisfied. So you're thanking Hashem and you're feeling the love. Say, you know what? Oh, Hashem, I wish I could feel the love that is inherent in what you're doing for me now. Help me feel the love for you. And that you are near me like family. That's it. An extra couple seconds. Now we go to Birchas Kriya Shema, the blessings of Kriya Shema. At least when you're saying the Shema, that goes to a higher world. Keneged Elam Abriya, a higher level. And what's that? Yikonis Agosha Shel Bittul Hayesh. Now we work on Bittul Hayesh, starting to nullify. That's the third level where you're feeling insignificant next to that great being. Shema Yisrael Hashem Echad. Hashem is everything. He's so great. How insignificant you feel. The brachas, you say, he created the sun and the stars and the moons. Machadish b'chol yom tobid ma'asav reishis. You renew the entire world every moment. How insignificant you feel before Hashem. Ubetfilas Amida, when you start the Amida, which is with the world of Atzilus, where it's the world where it's only Hashem, Yikanish lahargish bitol b'metzias. Enter to feel total negation of your existence. And that's what it really is. That's what it means when you're standing before the king. When you stand before the king, you have no reality. Like the angels. Your feet are together. Hashem's fasai tiftach. Hashem, open up my lips. Because I can't open them. That's exactly what it is. Eino novaro mamish. I cannot open my lips. It's a what do you call it? An illusion that I'm opening up my lips. I really can't. So please open them up for me. So now you totally don't exist. And that's where you'll have stories in the Gemara where rabbis in the middle of Amida, they don't know what's going on around them. Okay, we're not on that level. But again, these are opportunities every day, a little feeling. Or maybe every day pick one. Just pick one. Okay, so these are times where you can accomplish that. Okay, back upstairs. The Isamek v'yachnis es atzon l'argoshas of beetle. Person has to go deep and allow to penetrate feelings of beetle. La'at, a little bit. Lefi seder amadregos, according to the different four levels we talked about. Shuv v'shuv, over and over. And what's he adding with this? Sadi let's say you've been able to go up the four levels. Guess what you do next? Tov shi'er chasar b'seder. Go back down. You went 1, 2, 3, 4 over time, and you up to 4. Go back to 4, 3, 2, 1. Yala shuv v'yered shuv. Keep going up and down, mimata l'mala, mimala l'mata, from down to up to down. Why? Why'd I have to go down if I'm so high? Why should I go down at all? The answer is, Vinyan Hayurida, who the concept of coming back down to the lower levels, when you get the higher feeling of totally nullifying yourself. And then ulahorida, so when you bring it down, when you're feeling the highest level, then you know what? You're going to uplift the lower feeling of what it means to say I'm in front of the king. When you're saying I'm in front of the king, you have a certain feeling. But as you go higher, and then you begin to realize that I'm nothing. So then when you go back to in front of the king means something else now. It's a whole different meaning. It's a whole different meaning when you come back. So let me give you an analogy. You start with Aleph base. When you learn Torah Aleph base, then you start learning some Chumash. Then you start learning some Rashi. Then you start learning some Mishnah. And then you start learning some Gemara. And then you start learning some Kabbalah. Okay, do you forget about the Aleph base? No. Because now when you learn Aleph base with the knowledge of Kabbalah, the whole Aleph base looks different. All of a sudden, the Aleph is not an Aleph, it's a Vav with two Yuds, Shem Hashem. Whoa, when did that happen? Well, it's the same Aleph base. So come down from your Kabbalah and come down to the Aleph base and see the Aleph base. You think that I have to accept the yoke of Hashem. So who do you think Hashem is? He's bigger than you. Okay, I accept the yoke of God who's bigger than me. But when you begin to understand that there's nothing else but him, it's a whole different accepting of the yoke. Your whole definition of Hashem has changed. And all the yoke, the acceptance is clearer to you. And you don't have any second thoughts and say, well, I do, but when it's a tough day, I don't. No, you're nothing without him. So it's like all the time. So that's where you take the higher feeling and really you're supposed to have all four feelings firing on the highest thrusters possible. So when you've hit the top, it will affect how you look at the lower levels. Once you merit to feel the complete bittul, you got to go down and to feel again some madregas and amuchas, the lower levels. But with much more power and inner quality. A person has many layers. When the highest level of the person enters total bittul, but there's still a lower level that is holding by accepting the yoke. That lower level has to be as high as it can be. Remember, he said before, don't wait till you've fulfilled all of the lower level before you go to the next level. You'll never fulfill all the lower level until you reach higher levels. Because what you think a king is going to change once you reach complete bittul. It will all change the way you look at who the king is, what is he like. So therefore, that's got to be lifted up. It's after you feel total bittul, go down to feel lower level thoughts. That will cause them now to be more purified and more innerly focused. Okay, so we finished all that. Okay, it was on the page before. I'm trying to, it's so hard to not make a difference in the top and the bottom here. Okay, we're going back to on top of the text, right on Samach Zayin. Hashem said, slowly. Yargish at the Samaches. You're going to feel that you're higher. You reach higher levels, in the perfection of the unity, and the higher spirituality. Okay, let's see. Tzadi Vav. A person can work often on bittul, and feel inside. So he says, Taka, I feel I got something. A little bit according to my level, I feel I've accomplished. And he feels how he's a little cleaner from arrogance. He's a little cleaner from self-independence. And he has really, truly been nullifying himself. But the Yetzer is very smart. After you accomplished it, sometimes see some suddenly he begins to be arrogant. He starts feeling it again. So he said, what's going on? I'm working on it, and I'm going back to the same way I said before. So he says, you need to know two things. Aleph, so that he shover, don't let that break you. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the growth works. That's exactly how it works. You're going to reach the level of gaiva, you're going to reach the level of bittul, and then you're going to say, wow, that was amazing. I did a great job of bittul. So once you reach a level, you acquired it. Now a new level has to come. And when you work on the new level, nearest you look like you're a little less than the one you're on. Of the avodah, so you haven't lost what you had. That is when you're trying to grow and you've reached a certain level, okay, but now you got to start looking at a new level. And when you start looking at the new level, you realize that, really you're not that good in that level at all. And that's when you notice, you think you hit a level, but then the arrogance creeps back in. So, you're not ready for the next level yet. So you're going to have to come back again.
2 steps forward, 1 step.
That's right. Exactly. 2 steps forward or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, whatever. Hey, second thing, because you said, when it happens, you got to start again from the bottom. Start over. Means you didn't have it as good as you thought you had it. We'll have to go back to Kabbalah. Start with accepting the yoke, Udvekas and cleaving, and extend more thought about this. And go back to other levels of bittul. The Yomer don't say, look, I already got this, but I already worked on bittul. Why do they drop down a level? No. Once you're saying a new level, you're still not on the bittul of that new level. You got to go back, always go back, reinforce what's below. Okay. Now let's go to the next subsection. Gimel. Limud utfila. There's learning and davening that has to fit into this. To be able to achieve this concept in the greatest depths, learn books of tzaddikim. Learn Hasidic svarim. That talks about this idea of the unity of Hashem and Bitul. The fact that we're learning on Fridays in the Siva Shalom. That's what it's all about. All Sifrei Hasidus, they always bring you back to Yichud and Bitul. Every Hasidic Sefer always brings you back to Shabbos. And Shabbos is the aspect of Yichud. Yichud means that we're totally at one with Hashem and realize we're just the light of Hashem. So you learn Sifrei Hasidim, it's a way of thinking. Just by reading what they're saying, you could see where they're coming from. They're coming from where a person realizes that he's nothing in front of Hashem. All of it is based on that, some more direct, some less direct. But clearly, so many times we've seen it in the Siva Shalom where he talks about this Yeshus, the somethingness, and how evil somethingness is, and how it takes you away from a moon and all these things. It always comes back, and usually what we're learning, it dovetails. And quite often on Friday, I say, and as we said at the afternoon class, it always comes back. So you learn other Sifrei Chasidus, it will dovetail that. Why? Let's see the footnote Tzadi Zayin. Ki al yedei shalom de misfarim shel tzadikim. When you learn the sfarim that the tzadikim write, ba'ofen shemachapshim es nekudas habitul shehem, where you're able to grab that point of the bittul that they have. Shinakudas hayichud, that's the point of unity. Besides what you understand what they're saying, but through their own bittul, that bittul sparks into your soul as well. Because that's what the tzaddikim were all about. They were totally bittul. So they're talking a bittul talk. You're learning the bittul language, as it were. You want to learn a foreign language, you got to speak it. So you see how they speak it. So you see how they speak that language. Then we're going to really feel the aspect to its truth. The goal of all this bittul is it's a gift from Hashem. It's not up to you. You could try and try and try. At the end, it's a gift. Tzaddikim and the righteous ones, call their whole aspect of their lives, to to show us how to reveal the Beetle that's totally with us, that we can show to Hashem. You got to look hard for this. In their words, what's implied in their words, is to find the true service of Hashem. You also have to learn from the students of the tzaddikim, who are alive today. Now, what was this one standing for? It took me a while to figure this one. I think it's Le'echad ve'esrim yamim tovim, to 120 good years. I think that's what it is. That was a tough one to figure that one out. He's saying you should go to living tzaddikim. They revealed the methods of Beetle and Yichud. And that's how you can achieve the Beetle. I mean, the Sfarim, the classic sefer, is the Balatanya Shara Yichud V'Amudah. That's all Yichud. The Rebbe said he didn't have time to give every Talmud private attention as much as they needed. So I put in my Sfarim and learn my Sfarim. You'll see what Yichud really is. So that's a classic, and I believe it's on our website. Okay, so that was Tzadi Zion. So learn the words of Tzaddik. Next, back upstairs. V'yarba b'tefillah, and increase your prayer. Ub'tachanun el Hashem Yisbarach, and supplications to Hashem. Sheyaro derech haemes, that He should teach you the true way. V'yizkal havin nachon esin habitl, and you should merit to really understand properly what Beetle is. Ulhargishu, and to feel it, v'liknoisa b'emes, and to truly acquire it. Because the truth is, to really merit this level of Beetle, you have to receive it from the heaven. As they say, the aspect of the service of a gift that is given to the Kohen. And a person has to strengthen himself with which he has in his hands for rights of emes that he truly wants. And he supplicates Hashem. Certainly Hashem will merit for him to get it. So that's the prayer. You got to pray for these things. You don't pray for these things, it's not important to you. So therefore, you've got to really feel the tremendous need for this. Okay, so we still have footnote. No, we did them all. We're perfect. We did the tzaddikim, we did this. So we're going to start tomorrow, Daled, which is a very important idea. With all the thinking, what do we do after the thinking? And the next section is it's called Lasos Levush Ukli La'or. You have to make a garment and a utensil for this light, which is a fascinating discussion. We'll start tomorrow. Mir Hashem. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Everybody.
Thank you.